As a homeowner, I'm always working on something. As a builder, I get to see what works and what doesn't.
Beige is not the only neutral color that exists in this world.
Bamboo naturally is grown in several different colors.
It's a bewildering array.
We didn't know we needed a new fireplace until you came into the picture.
Today we'll be taking a look at 3 very different kitchens reflecting 3 very different personalities. With so many directions available and decisions to make in the design process, it can be very overwhelming. 2 different designers, 3 different designs, both utilizing basic design elements to achieve well-functioning and attractive workspaces. The final outcome? Cooks that never want to leave the kitchen.
I couldn't picture how everything would be together, and it was so overwhelming. It was such a relief to have somebody in your corner and helping you.
When I start in someone's home, first of all, I like to have a conversation with them and get a sense of what they're about a little bit. It sounds a little cliche, but certain people have different interests and they have different things they like.
Coming to grips with what you like and what you don't like, you have a sort of a gut feeling about what your preferences are, but until you look at all the choices that are there, you really don't understand how big the choices are, just how many choices there are.
I generally get a feel of their comfort level and their sense of style and maybe colors that they surround themselves with, things that they like.
Whether you like a shiny floor or a dull floor, or whether you like the rough texture or the smooth texture, or all of those things are things you have to understand about your tastes. You can really indulge your fantasies with the countertops. There are countertops to meet every possible style and it's a bewildering array.
Don't ever be confused about when you're in a showroom what they're selling. They're going to put that in its best light, but you have to translate that into your real world.
So it's just by going through and looking at all the samples and saying, well, gee, this looks nice, but how's this going to work? I mean, I'm from Texas, and limestone is a very common building material in Texas, so we wanted limestone countertops. A lot of the countertop people say limestone doesn't make a good countertop, but if you get a dense limestone, then it works fine. And this is an Egyptian limestone on the cabinet there. It works very well for a countertop. You have to take a little bit more care of it because it is soft, it will scratch, it will etch, but you just have to take reasonable care with it.
But everyone has their own comfort zone of where they feel like their home fits and how they relate to it. So I just try to help them feel more comfortable there.
We didn't know we needed a new fireplace until you came into the picture.
Well, sorry about that.
Yeah.
They might say to me, I just want to change the kitchen, or I just want to change the living room. So I may go into their home and look around, and I have many times suggested that that may not be the extent of the change that I would recommend. You have great ceiling height in this room as it is. I believe these go to about 11 feet, and then your peak hits at about 16. If we'd stopped the fireplace at the top of the mantle, it would have brought you back down. This way, when you go all the way to the ceiling, it lifts your eye and you bring all of these beautiful colors of the earth all the way up to the ceiling. It really does help your room, it anchors your space, and it gives you a beautiful focal point.
In the end, it turned out to be one of our favorite things, I think, in the whole remodel, I think, and all of the rooms. We love this fireplace.
I try to help them make their space in their home more comfortable.
We love to have people come over and show them all that we've done, and it's just it's a very warm, inviting place.
I usually encourage people to spend their money in the rooms where they live.
A good surprise was how much more functional the space is for us. especially the custom cabinets in the kitchen and the laundry room, how much more cabinet space we have and how much more of a pleasure it is to be in the space where it really is maximizing the use of the space. It's easy to arrange things. It's easy to get into cupboards that were once dark and very difficult to find things in.
Like anything Mother Nature makes, no two pieces are alike, and it's beautiful in its own right.
This season of Building for Better Living brought to you in part by Nancy Allison, Shelter Insurance. We're your shield, we're your shelter. Carpet One, beautiful made affordable.
Wouldn't it be great if everything were free? You really can have free solar energy. With today's utility rebates and federal tax credits, solar energy can provide immediate cost savings on your utility bill and free electricity often in just a few years. So why you have to keep paying for everything else? Find out how you can get free energy from the sun today. Missouri Solar Applications, a shining solution.
Carpet One Floor & Home are good friends of mine because they treat their customers right. I know that firsthand. But I bet there are some things you don't know about Carpet One, even though they've been in business since 1968. Not only do they carry the great carpet lines like Tigressa, Relaxit Sleeves, and Karastan, they have a huge tile showroom and hardwood collection. They also carry Hunter Douglas window treatments and now offer the Healthier Living installation system. I'm Paul Pepper, and Carpet One Floor & Home is a friend of mine.
At Shelter Insurance, we're people who know that the first love of your life
I need you to take the screws off.
might have been made of steel.
Thank you.
Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life, we're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Agent Nancy Allison about Shelter's auto insurance discounts.
Closed captioning brought to you by
on Lamone Industrial Boulevard.
A common problem we find is improper air circulation in older homes and commercial buildings. In this case, we found 2 return vents that are improperly connected to the units themselves. This can cause your heating and cooling bills to be higher than they really need to be. Properly connected and insulated ductwork can save you 1 to 10% on your annual heating and cooling cost. This church has about 45,000 square feet and their annual heating and cooling bill peaks out at $50,000. We're going to save them about 2% a year on their annual heating and cooling costs by properly connecting their ductwork and doing a little bit of air sealing. As you can see, the AC unit is above our head, and the return duct that goes to the church is open to the open cavity here, this open room. Now every time the system kicks on, it's going to pull air in from this room directly and indirectly from the church. Therefore, you're not going to get 100% of air from the church, and the system has to work harder to cool the air. We used galvanized metal ductwork to build a custom box to connect our system to our air handler. Now we've got one more piece here to connect the system, and once we do, we're going to finish it by taping our seams with foil tape and sealing our connections with duct mastic or spray foam. This is going to create a solid loop between the system and our air return. As a property owner, you should always be mindful of your surroundings. Simple indicators can show you where you are losing energy. Indicators such as plants moving in the wind, curtains that flow, or maybe just a breeze on the back of your hand are all indicators of energy loss and air moving from outside in.
For more information, visit our website at goenergylink.com.
Wow, Stephanie, what a great looking modern kitchen. How did this all come about?
I met the homeowners at our local trade show. They were getting ready to build a new house, which we're standing in now. They had seen a display that we had done and had some interest, and they brought in a photograph that they had found from the internet of a kitchen that they liked. Totally different shape than their space planned in their blueprints, but they liked the look of it, and they wanted to incorporate that design style into their actual floor plan. This is a very unique kitchen. Definitely modern in feel, so it's got the clean lines, simple elegance. We use stainless steel, bamboo, solid surface, kind of hard and soft surfaces together to create a very clean and unique look.
So Stephanie, you talked about the homeowner liked the bamboo, the fact that it was green, and then also the nice sleek look. What happens from there? Do you have different options in the bamboo arena as far as putting a kitchen cabinet package together?
Definitely. Bamboo is still a fairly new product for cabinets and hardwood material. It's been around for floors for a little while, but it's getting more and more into the cabinet world. Because as you can imagine what a bamboo stalk grows like, it's a different kind of plywood. It's put together actually in pieces and little strips of ply like you see here in this thick piece of plywood. So it's not what we think of when we think of a traditional plywood with the thin layers that are all glued together. There is a gluing process, and in the bamboo plywood they're using a VOC-free glue, so it means there's no formaldehyde off-gassing in your home, which is a big part of a green product and a green building standards. Bamboo naturally is grown in several different colors. So you'll see here on this sample board, there's lots of different colors. We don't really stain bamboo. It's a really dense hard wood, so it doesn't really absorb stain and change the color, so your color comes from the color of the wood itself. In this case, the customer came in and we looked at different options and they decided to go with the amber green, which is kind of the middle colored one right there. There's even the multi-grain, which is really striped and has a lot more character, and then there's what you would think of more as a natural bamboo in that very light color. You'll also notice it comes in an edge grain and a flat grain, which is kind of just the way the appearance is, whether it looks like small strips or thick strips. Because of the way bamboo is grown, it's either put together in plies like this to make a thick piece of hardwood, or it's done in a veneer like this. And we can take this veneer and wrap it or cover different types of material to give a full solid bamboo look. In this kitchen, we use solid core doors and drawer fronts, and some of our end panels are solid core, and then we used a veneer like on the bottoms of cabinets and on some specialty ends so that we could save a little cost and build a regular plywood cabinet box.
There's so many things I didn't know about the bamboo, so I'm glad we're going through this. I didn't realize that it didn't hold the stain. I thought you could stain it to just about anything you wanted, but it's grown in these colors.
Yes, and it's a very dense, durable wood. It doesn't ding very easily because of the denseness, which makes sense why it wouldn't absorb a lot of color if you tried to stain it.
So then once they pick the color, you guys put a clear coat on it to finish it all off?
In this particular project, we use a waterborne lacquer finish, so it's, again, we're VOC free, so we're back to the green standards, and it's a clear coat with a satin finish, so it's got a little shine, but not too much high gloss to it.
And I like the fact that you can do the veneers on it. That helps save the customer money, and you can basically create just about anything you want.
Right, right. We can make a shape, an odd shape we can cover with a veneer, a round piece, or a strange cutout. We can do all of that with a veneer.
As far as working with bamboo, I think it's actually a very neat product to work with. We don't work with it a lot in the shop, so it does take a little bit more practice and stuff like that, getting used to it. I like to actually bring that blade further up, and the reason for that is because then it's actually more of a downward cut because of being a more dense material. Same thing with running screws in it and brad nails and gluing it also. It all just takes just a little bit extra planning, a little bit extra effort to it. But other than that, it's a great material. It holds up extremely well. You know, obviously it's more dense than your oaks and stuff like that. Same reason why it doesn't take stain very well, because of the fact that it's so dense. But it holds up, like I said, extremely well.
This season of Building for Better Living brought to you in part by Mark Hall Cabinetry, where everything you imagine materializes. Steve's Pest Control. Now you have a friend in the pest control business. Slumberland Furniture. The way you live, the way you save.
How often do you get $100 off something? Well, now you do at Slumberland. Find what you love and save one big old bend. $100 off any item over $4.99. Not to mention all the new looks waiting to come home with you. $100 off at Slumberland. That's enough to make even Ben smile.
Imagine style so eloquent that functionality is secondary. Imagine expert guidance and a process that's all about you. Imagine exceptional quality at a price you can feel good about. Imagine immense satisfaction. Mark Hall Cabinetry, where everything you imagine materializes.
A termite eating through the wall of my home. An infestation of ants crawling on my kitchen counter. A brown recluse spider about to bite my son. Roaches crawling in my cabinets.
If you've got a bug problem, don't call a psychiatrist. Just call me at Steve's Pest Control.
Now you got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control.
Closed captioning brought to you by
On Lamone Industrial Boulevard.
Cole, in this kitchen, the homeowners had a lot of input and put in some great extra design elements that gave a very unique look to this space. And this is a large kitchen, so we have a lot of different work areas involved. This is kind of a prep zone, cleanup zone, so we've got double sinks here and double faucets. The homeowner also added this very unique, cool stainless steel tile, as well as more of the solid surface going up behind the sink. Easy cleanup, easy maintenance, continues that nice clean looking line. We did some different accessories in the cabinets, such as the pull-out shelves that let everything be easily accessible and you can get in and out of everything a lot easier. Full extension drawer guides, so the drawer box comes completely out of the cabinets. They have full access to everything in the drawers. And then we've got some great upgraded appliances going in here. We've got a trash compactor, dual dishwashers, and like I said before, the double sinks with both of them with a garbage disposal.
Yeah, it's an awesome, unique feature that I haven't seen in kitchens, where you have the dual faucets, which makes it handy. Two people can be cooking or cleaning at the same time.
Definitely. This family spends a lot of time in their kitchen and they do a lot of cooking, so it was imperative that they have a TV with internet access in here and kind of give it a nice home feel so it's not so staunch and cold in here as well. This zone of the kitchen is the cooking zone. First thing that we did to give another design element is we took the solid surface countertop and rolled it down the edge, kind of a waterfall look, to tie it in with the island as well. And then the homeowner also put the stainless steel tile over here again, so it ties back to the other side. And then we have this great feature down at the toe kick area. We've got a lighted stainless steel toe kick.
And you told me that the homeowner installed this, which I was surprised. They showed me it was actually seemed pretty easy to do. This is actual LED peel and stick lighting system.
It is. It's a great way to get some accent lighting, and it can be retrofitted to a lot of spaces. In this construction, it was a new construction, so we were able to put it on a switch with an outlet inside the cabinet, but you can easily add this, and literally it's just stuck underneath the cabinet there and creates that nice offsetting glow that just kind of adds some ambiance to the space. And then we put a stainless steel piece down there as well, so it kind of gives a little bit of reflective nature and pulls the stainless steel through the whole space.
Yeah, it's a nice feature. I love the toe kick. That's a very nice look to it.
Gives a cool look to the area.
Right.
Again, over here we have the rollout shelves, easily accessible for the pots and pans, right there at your cooking area.
Now, the homeowner did the peel and stick stainless steel tile on the backsplash. Might be working me out of a job. I definitely love this look, and I think this is going to catch on for a lot of homeowners.
Absolutely, and it's great for this feel and this design of the kitchen. You know, there's a lot of do-it-yourself type projects out there, and this is definitely one that looks very professional.
Yes. I do like the stainless steel hood with the glass feature. That really helps make it and give it that modern look.
And again, in this kitchen, they've tied that same glass in with light fixtures and kind of brought the whole room back together. Again, they do some serious cooking here, so this is vented outside and allows them to get anything out of here very quickly. This is a warming drawer. It is used to keep things warm after they're cooked. There's several different types of them. Most of them allow you to add moisture to it. So there's a place to add moisture in the system so you're not drying out the food as you're keeping it warm. It's a great appliance if you've got the space for it. And then we put a large functioning storage drawer below it to make space for your extra large pans and pots.
And that's the beautiful thing about your system and your design. I like the way that there really isn't a space that's unused.
Exactly. Where the end of this island fell, the size was determined by what we wanted the island to look like, and the warming drawer is determined by the appliance manufacturer. So we went ahead and made use of these tiny spaces on the sides as well. So virtually every space inside these cabinets is used for something. We got a little fancy here and added a creative outside corner drawer stack. You actually gain a lot more space in it because we're able to use all the way back into the corner, and we don't have a blind or a dead spot coming from either side. So the finished closed look is a lot nicer, and it makes full functionality of that space again. And as you can see here, we continue the waterfall looks over here again, so you've got that element continued throughout the kitchen.
The single most important focal point of the kitchen, the island.
Yeah. This island was kind of the inspiration for the whole space. It's definitely unique in shape, and it's definitely oversized. We're about 10.5 feet by 8 feet. The homeowner did a great job picking out some light fixtures. Again, we've got that glass and stainless steel detail that matches up with the hood. Stays with that whole modern feel. They wanted to have some seating, but they didn't want the seating to overpower the space. So we made it where the seats along the side can kind of tuck in and underneath, and they still, you see that waterfall effect with the solid surface.
I see this nice, clean space, and then there's, what is that? Yeah, what is that?
Again, these people they cook a lot and they use their space a lot, and so you need electricity on your island. You need to be able to use handheld appliances or plug in crock pots, and this is a pop-up outlet. So on this side here, there's 3 different outlets, and they're available when you need them, and then they disappear when you don't, and it's watertight, so you can wipe off your countertop. You don't have to worry about moisture getting inside there.
This is a beautiful kitchen. I just love it. It's exactly what I would want in a kitchen, and you did a nice job putting it all together.
Being here helps us to focus on what really matters.
It's one place we can all agree on.
Our experience here on Sunday touches our lives all week long.
Forum Christian Church, connecting, growing, living.
We finally found our house, and we really love it. But when we moved in, everything dripped and dripped and dripped. I asked the neighbor for a referral, and he said, call Mr. Reuter Plumbing. So I did. Oh, they were courteous, professional, nice and neat, did a great job. I can see why people refer Mr. Reuter. Now it's my turn. Call Mr. Reuter.
Wouldn't it be great if everything were free? You really can have free solar energy. With today's utility rebates and federal tax credits, solar energy can provide immediate cost savings on your utility bill and free electricity often in just a few years. So why you have to keep paying for everything else? Find out how you can get free energy from the sun today. Missouri Solar Applications, a shining solution.
Closed captioning brought to you by
on Lamone Industrial Boulevard.
We recently did a kitchen remodel in this house. Certainly the kitchen was the weakest part of our house. There was very little cabinet space and even less counter space. Luckily I had this butcher block that we've been hauling around for 20 years.
Good part of the family.
It's part of the family. You can see where actually I think that's a little burnt. When we started getting some kitchen designs, initially some of the plans came in with an island idea, and I kept thinking, no, I don't want an island. My space is too narrow. So my sisters were visiting one weekend, and the three of us have a way of spending each other's money with great ease, and so we were talking about it, and one of my sisters says, well, let's move that refrigerator over there. I said, oh, I don't think so, there's no water. And she said, well, let's find out how much that would be. So with that it started, and I suggested to the designer that we think about moving the kitchen over, the refrigerator over, and opening up the kitchen. So that's what we did.
So that's how this idea and how this design process started for you. The kitchen you were living in currently wasn't working for you.
Pitiful, was really way beyond pitiful. I knew when we bought the house that if we were to stay in the house a long time, we were definitely going to do a kitchen refresh. 10. 10 foot wide. It's 10 wide by 25 long, as I recall.
You can even entertain in this particular area now.
Well, and I love to cook. In one of my previous lives, I worked for a caterer when we lived in Atlanta. So I love to cook, and I like to cook some unique sort of things and then entertain and have people over and let them try it. So it isn't that I couldn't cook in the other kitchen, it's just a lot more fun in this one.
And this is a longer, narrow room, and you've made perfect use of this space.
We started with pantry. I've been married for a long time and have thrown very little away, and just asked my husband. And so I wanted a pantry that wouldn't be so deep that I would lose everything. So this is only 12 inches deep. It was literally as deep as the tallest cereal box.
Well, one thing I like about what you picked in just your cabinets alone are the soft close doors.
I love those.
Me having kids, that is something that I should have invested money in, because they slam those doors like nobody's business. And the other thing I like, and I didn't notice right off the bat, but you have crown molding at the top, but you also have cabinets that are staggered. And I like the way you went with a very simple trim piece at the top to give it some depth, character. I also like the depth on your cabinet here, because if you would have went a full depth cabinet, you really would have been coming back into this space again. So you've used this wall, it's still functional cabinet space, and it hasn't intruded in your space. I like that.
This is just a personal idiosyncrasy, but I always come up a little bit higher on the cabinet and try to wrap into the tile, because the bottom of the cabinet, in my mind, is not the finishing spot for a backsplash.
That's a good idea.
I think your cabinet needs to be incorporated into the tile rather than the tile just run to the base.
Well, it worked out really nicely. Everything, wall color, backsplash, even though you have a different backsplash here, it separates this area, gives you the new area that ties into everything else. It all came together very well, Betsy.
Thanks,
you did a great
Cole.
job.
Appreciate it.
Blowing in insulation is one of the cheapest, most inexpensive ways to start helping you save money on your energy costs.
Well, for the most recent fiscal year, we were able to surpass 10,000 tons.